The British Grand Prix.
Yep, British Grand Prix.
It was exciting only towards the end.
I guess you could say that.
We'll say the weekend was full of a lot of different things. We had Nico Hülkenberg returning to replace Sergio Perez, who at this moment, it doesn't seem like he will be there next weekend either. Still in quarantine, has COVID-19. We'll start there. Shame for Nico Hülkenberg to not even get to start the race.
Yeah.
They didn't confirm it, but team principal was talking about it was either gearbox issues or a power unit issue. So, shame there, but what do you think of the race overall?
I made it public on our Twitter page that it was a boring race. And to me, in my opinion, is this, and it's obvious throughout the course of the show and the evolution of this show that you're the Formula One guy and I'm the NASCAR guy.
Yeah.
It's pretty obvious about that. I think we're a house divided on that benchmark right there. And I would say this, it's not a race to me when the leader's 32 seconds ahead and the best battles for 8th on the track.
Okay, I can understand that.
To me, it's not fun. It's not fun at all for me to sit there and watch Lewis Hamilton scoot away, Bottas scoot away, maybe within 5 seconds of him, and Verstappen's 24 seconds back.
Right.
It's not fun for me. That's not racing for me. Some might argue that NASCAR has the same issue as far as that Keselowski this weekend was 2 seconds ahead of Hamlin and was on a rail.
Well, yeah, no, comparing it to NASCAR, it's not the same thing.
And you can't really compare NASCAR and Formula One. Two different forms of motorsports. It's like
absolutely.
It's like comparing horse racing to motorcycle racing.
Well, I had somebody, I was at work yesterday. I had somebody at work ask, they said, as far as the technical side goes, we were watching the Formula One race. They were like, is this a very technical sport? Like the cars are very...
Oh, yeah.
And I was like, compared to a stock car, absolutely. They both have different things to it, but I was like, I can tell you differences. With NASCAR, you have 4 gears. In a stock car, these guys are shifting through 8 gears, and they're doing it like, I think I read a fact, it was like between 50 to 70 times a lap that they're doing it that many times. And I'm like, you have to be mentally focused for that. It's just unreal. But I mean, it's just, but I was kind of breaking it down too, because I said at the end when we had issues with Valtteri Bottas, Lewis Hamilton tire issues, and I was like, the thing compared to NASCAR to Formula One is Formula One runs different compounds that you have softs, you have mediums, you got hards. And I broke it down. The softs are more faster tire, but they don't last as long. They're more usually for shorter runs and everything like that. So, but yeah, there's a technical side to it. But I agree with you. The race was boring up until a certain point. Yeah, sure, we had Alex Albon getting into, who is it, Kevin Magnussen?
Yeah, Magnussen there on the first lap.
Sent him way off the track and that's another different thing about it. If it was a stock car, you're just talking about beating and banging it. With Formula One, tire-on-tire contact is going to send that car somewhere else.
Right. And what I don't like about that either is it's a racing incident. It looked racing. Maybe Magnussen came down on him, but they put the blame on Albon and gave him a 5-second penalty. It's like, just let the guys race.
Yeah.
I think at this point in Formula One, coming up on their 70th year anniversary, which is awesome. I can't wait till next weekend's race to watch that. Or is it this weekend or next weekend?
We'll be back this weekend at Silverstone again.
But I think at this point in every Formula One, I heard one of the drivers say he's driving dangerously. Well, you're driving a race car.
Wait, what?
Who was it? I couldn't remember who was. It's like Ocon or something.
Oh, Esteban Ocon?
It was racing against, I think, the other Haas of Grosjean. And Grosjean blocked him.
I think I do remember.
And he said, he's driving dangerously. He's like, you're driving a race car, man.
I can see where he'd be driving dangerously if he's almost blocking.
But isn't that the point? Protect your position. Yeah,
it is the point. But you and I say, it comes down to 2 different forms of racing: NASCAR and Formula One. With Formula One, you're talking a wing on the front car. If you block somebody coming up at 190 miles an hour, the car is going to go right under you and send you into the next stratosphere, probably.
Or at maybe best case scenario, or that's the worst case scenario, I would say, but maybe on a more equal crazy thing, just looking at it, the driver who blocks gets a right rear or left rear puncture from the wing of the other car and takes himself out.
Yeah.
So
it's it's just a fine line between it. I mean, yeah, I can understand that they say, oh, he's driving dangerously, and you have to protect your position to an extent.
Right.
Let's just put it that way. So there was a lot of things that were happening. I had that race yesterday.
Yeah, there were.
But, I mean, like I said, go back to your point. I agree. It was boring up to an extent. And I did see you put it on Twitter that, like, oh, this is boring. And then...
with the little baby sleeping.
The baby falling over. But then
I got a couple of likes from that.
Yeah.
From people all around the world.
But then we got to the end, and things really ramped up for a second.
Things did ramp up. Hamilton ended up winning the race. Led every lap, even on the last lap, had with that left front puncture or flap, whatever you want to call it. With half a lap to go, still won.
Yeah, there was...
that 32-second lead definitely helped. For Max Verstappen finished second. Bottas, who was in second, had the same issue Hamilton did, pitted, finished 11th. And the finish up the podium for third for Scuderia Ferrari, Charles Leclerc, definitely the number one driver in there. Sebastian Vettel ended up finishing 10th.
Yeah, he's still struggling.
Holy cow, that whole team's struggling. Whereas McLaren's doing well. Racing Point's doing well. Renault, Ricardo finished...
he finished fourth.
And Ocon finished sixth.
Yeah, great day for Renault.
A really good day for Renault, even though I don't like that team.
Why don't you like that team?
I don't know. Maybe just Alan Prost is with them, and I just don't like Alan Prost. I respect him as a driver, 3-time champion in Formula One. But after that Senna documentary, it's like, man, you're kind of a jerk.
Ah, okay.
But that's my personal opinion. And then another honorable mention for me, Lando Norris for Racing Point, 5th. So not your typical drivers up there by any stretch of the means, except Hamilton and Verstappen and Bottas, and when he doesn't have an issue. But I'm going to leave it to you. How do you rate the race here for the Formula One race?
So I have, let me see here. I had unpredictability at 7 because it was kind of a usual thing. Hamilton's out front. We're not really going to see a whole lot.
You were very generous with that. I'm not going to lie.
I gave memorability a 7. Excitement, I put an 8 because of what happened at the end. The intensity, I gave a 9 because what really happened at the end once Hamilton, then his tire messed up. He had a blowout. And competitiveness, I put an 8 because I kind of rate the competitiveness all over the racetrack as well. So overall, it was a 7.8. But I mean, like, I kind of looking back at it now, it's like a shame that Verstappen, they chose to pit. I think he might have been a little upset about that.
Hindsight's always 20/20.
So, but I mean, like, I was when Hamilton, well, first of all, like you brought it up before the show, and when the commentator said, "Oh no, it's Hamilton," and it was actually Bottas that blew the tire, and I was like, "Oh."
I was so happy about that, and then he said, "Oh no, it's Bottas." I got mad at the commentator. It's like, how do you not know? But every driver looks the same out there, man. They need and I get it. Everybody uses their own different numbers now. It's not just based on the championship points or position from the previous season.
Yeah.
But we need the better way to mark drivers.
And then when Hamilton's tire went out and they were like, is he going to make it? And then when they showed the whole track map, I was like, oh, he is going to make it.
Yeah, I realized that too. It's like, he's no matter how fast Verstappen's going.
Yeah.
But here's how I rated the race for the British Grand Prix. You're not going to like this.
Uh-oh.
Memorability 5.
Okay.
Lucky to get that. Intensity 4.
Ooh.
Final lap just bumped it up 3 spots in my opinion.
Oh.
Competitiveness 6. I'm trying to look through your eyes and look at the whole field. So I gave it a 6. Excitement 5. It bumped up 4 spots. I'm not going to lie at the final lap. Unpredictability 1.
Okay, I can give that.
Overall for the Formula One race, British Grand Prix, 4.2.
Is that the lowest you've ever rated?
I think that's
the
lowest I've ever rated a race in general. And I tell you what, I'm not at all upset about that whatsoever.
Well, as we still talk about it. An interesting thing I just saw today, and Lewis Hamilton, now he's moved up into first for the most races led from start to finish. He passed Ayrton Senna. He's got 20 races now that he's led from start to finish.
And that's a feat. I tell you what, I'm one of those guys who looks at a historical landmark like that, regardless of who it is, and applauds them.
Yeah.
That's not an easy feat to do, lead a
No.
lap from lights out to checkered flag.
Right.
And the fact that he passed one of the greatest probably in the sport of Formula One of Ayrton Senna speaks volumes. And I think if Ayrton were alive today, he would applaud Hamilton for that, because that's not an easy feat to do. Congratulations to him on that. Other than that, whatever. Well, you have anything else on Formula One?
Nope. Just we'll be at Silverstone next week. That's all I got to say about that. So we'll just
Silverstone
have
next week. We'll get into that towards the end of the show. We'll
Yep.
give you all the week's or the race schedules coming up here at the end of the show. And I guess we'll just get into NASCAR now.
Yep.